Today we're doing front brakes on this 2013 Mercedes E350. Hopefully this video is helpful. First thing you want to do is loosen these up if you're going to do it by hand. They're 17 millimeter. Second thing, you're going to jack it up at this jack point right here. Once you get the wheel off, it should look like this. Then you take a 13 millimeter socket with your ratchet and put it on that bolt right there. So you get loose enough that you can do it by hand. Be able to make it move. Once you get this spring clamp out, it'll slide out. So you'll see inside this spring clamp it has this hook that drives into this hole right there. Yeah, that hole right there. So what you want to do is press in on this to make it out of that. So best to get a flathead right there. Press in on the back so it'll push it out and in, and the spring will launch off like it did. Once you get the spring and the top bolt off, what we want to do is go back to the back one and loosen that, and we'll see if we can just angle this out. Once you undo it enough, you can unscrew it like the top one. Just pull it out, and then that should allow you to swing this thing out. It's kind of stuck in there now. Make sure to pull these pins, casings out still, so there's room. You might need a flathead just to wedge it out a little bit because it's still going to be a little tight. And just pull it off like so. Make sure not to drop it, not to break your cable. And then right there for now. And then you slide this one out. So this side, you just can tap it. It's kind of wedged in there a little bit with pressure. This side against the piston is springed in just like the back rear brakes of these. So you just pry them out of their little hole. Next, what you want to do is you use one of these, a caliper spreader. You can get them from Amazon for like 15 bucks. Pretty nice. And then you put it in between the brake pad and the piston right there. And you just crank on it like that, and it will push the piston back in. Once you got it back all the way in, then you take this out, then you can put the new brake pads in. Once you get the caliper spread like that, you can now put in this brake pad, and it's just a spring. So you just grab it and put it in like that. And then the other one will just slide in. Now the other one has a little hole right there that goes into that hole. You just have to line that up pretty good. So just grab it, see the hole, line it up, push it in like that, and it should be good. And then you just put it over the brake rotor, try to hold these pads apart like that. That should just, those little hooks right there should should slide in right into that. That should be good. Remember when you put it in, just pull these slide pins back, because they'll hit and you won't be able to put in the caliper. These slide pins right here. So you want to take your brake caliper grease and just grease up these pins. They usually sell them in little packs when you do them. Once those are greased up, you can slide them back into where they go right here. Slide it back in, find where the thing locks up. You might have to shiver it around a little bit until you feel like the thread is going in. Then you get that one in, and then don't crank down the top one until you can get the bottom one in tight. Or not tight, but just hand tight. And you'll feel it when it's starting to grab. It's a little more resistance. Once you get like a few turns in it, then you can use your ratchet and crank them down. So grab your ratchet, put it on and start cranking them down. Should be fairly loose until the very end. Until the very end, then you might have to grab the end and tighten it real good. And then do the bottom one. Crank those bolts down pretty tight, then you'll move on to the front clip. So basically with this front clip, you want to get these shoes right about there on both sides, then press in this center piece right there into that hole right in there where it clips. You'll definitely need two hands, but you'll see once you start doing that. When you do this, make sure to grab like kind of like this, because then you can press in this bit to make the distance less between this and this. And then once you get it in, you want to kind of shuffle it all the way deep into its little hole, like that. Make sure it's clicked in there good. And it should look like that once you got it done. The little like, this bit will be in that hole. It's kind of dark. Lighten the screen a little bit. This bit right there will be in that hole, all tight, and these shoes should be like that. And then that means you're done, ready for the tire to be put on. Once you got the tire lined up with the hole, the easiest way to do it is to get your socket and just hand tighten it like this. Might have to shift the tire a little bit around. Usually these aren't lined up perfectly all the time. Then just hand do all of them before you torque them down. Once you get the tire all tight, just lower the car and then follow the same process on the same side, on the other side.